My friend's sister tried to sabotage her wedding. Now the sister wants my help planning hers?
Sabotage 2.0 is what I hear.
Please note that all names are fake. Sisterzilla is named Karen in this post. Backstory: years ago, my friend Amy, 25 at the time, asked me for help with her older sister Karen, 28, female at the time. Karen wasn't happy about her little sister getting married before her while she was still single. I wonder why she was single. By the way, this comes from Rottweiler Bridesmaid, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, Amy comes to me after Karen made an unreasonable demand about the wedding. This happened about 2 to 3 months into the engagement. Amy told me what Karen's demands were and how the argument went. Amy was to get married about a year after Karen got married. Karen is single and her longest relationship lasted 1 week. So the chances of Karen getting married very soon are very low.
It's like her getting a 7-day trial and then signing up with a different email every time.
Yeah, she's like, no, I don't want this. Thank you. Amy pointed out that she had been with her groom for 10 years. They were ready for the next step. Amy pointed out Karen's relationship history. Amy sarcastically commented on how long she and her groom would have to wait to get married if they agreed to Karen's demand. This led to a loud argument which their parents got involved in. The parents were on Amy's side regarding this demand. Karen wanted to plan the wedding and invite whoever she wanted. Apparently, during the argument, Karen interpreted the chances of her getting married before Amy as the chances of her ever getting married. Amy told me Karen's exact words: "So since the chances of me getting married are so low, I should use Amy's wedding to have my dream wedding and my friends will be coming too." Their parents called Karen's demands unreasonable and said that only Amy and her groom could plan the wedding. However, they did say that if there was room, Karen could have her friends there too. Amy reminded them that she and her groom were 100% paying for the wedding and reiterated what the parents had said about who was planning it. Karen wanted to be the maid of honor and wear a white wedding dress.
I know it.
Her reasoning was that she wanted to share the spotlight and feel special for one day.
Again. I'm on a roll on this one.
The parents immediately shot down the idea of her wearing a white wedding dress, but they agreed to her being the maid of honor. Before these demands, Amy had planned for Karen to be a bridesmaid and had already asked her lifelong friend who introduced the couple to each other to be the maid of honor, and she had agreed. However, when Karen made her demands, Amy decided not to have her as a bridesmaid or involved in wedding planning, which I think is smart. Amy told them that she had already had a maid of honor and didn't want Karen anywhere near the planning because Karen would have more chances to ruin the wedding. The parents insisted that Karen would never ruin the wedding and that she should be included in the planning fun, continuing to push for Karen to be the maid of honor. This was when Amy stormed out and came to my flat. Her groom was away with his parents at the time and her maid of honor lived hours away. She wanted time away from her family to cool down and rant about Karen's demands and her parents agreeing with some of them. I gave Amy some advice and ideas on how to handle the situation and offered to let her use my flat as a wedding planning HQ and to store wedding related items, wedding dresses, etc.
Okay.
Amy was worried that Karen would ruin the wedding and that their parents would take Karen's side. So I advised her to password protect her vendors, set her phone on lock to face recognition /passcode, and be ready to catch Karen in the act.
I did not know about the vendor passwords until like last week.
The vendor passwords?
Yeah. You're my cake vendor?
Yeah.
I am like the groom trying to get the cake, and Keon is trying to sabotage my cake.
Oh.
It's my cake, though.
It is your cake.
So you could like potentially call and be like, "Oh, hello, this is Amy calling about my cake. I actually don't want it anymore."
Exactly. But it has to be like, okay, what's the password?
Yeah, what was the password, Amy, if that even is your real name?
It's cake. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
I know how to get into Keon's laptop now.
Amy asked how to catch Karen in the act. I gave her some ideas, created a decoy wedding planning book filled with fake information about the wedding, and asked trusted friends to pretend to be the vendors, putting their names in the book. So this is a whole operation.
What?
That's crazy.
How much time do you have for this?
Yeah, you're planning a wedding and also a fake wedding?
I'm working on a side project right now, and the amount of time that is taking compared to this.
Yeah.
So you have an extra 15 hours in your week?
Apparently so.
How does that even work?
And record Karen trying to make changes behind Amy's back. Another idea was to have a decoy wedding dress, a cheap white dress that looked like it could be an expensive bridal gown, and set up a camera. Amy told me what had happened to her prom dress and graduation outfit and how Karen got away with it because there was no proof. It took us about 2 days to create a decoy wedding planner. Amy put the decoy planner in her room. She didn't tell anyone in her parents' house about a wedding planner book being in there and set up a camera. A day later, trusted friends got got calls from Karen. She wanted to cancel the church and reception hall. The trusted friends had Karen's number saved, so when she called, they recorded their conversation straight away. Trusted friends notified us after they had Karen's calls. They were told to block Karen after the calls. Then Amy received a message from Karen. Looks like you have to wait much longer than planned to get married.
Oh my gosh. She's like,
And she thinks that she's won. How foolish you look, Karen.
oh my gosh.
Because your plot was discovered.
Yeah, you can't, I don't know. You can't be doing victory laps when the race isn't done. You know? This is silly.
I feel like you have to wait until the person's like, oh my God, what happened? It's my wedding. It's canceled. And then you go, oh, guess you're going to have to wait a little bit longer to get married.
Yeah, if you're going to sabotage,
Yeah.
gotta be smart too.
Don't count your eggs, your chickens before they hatch.
There
And
we
don't
go.
count your eggs before prices go up. It's another saying.
Shoo, that's real.
Mhm.
That's real.
We looked back at the camera footage and found Karen going into Amy's room, heading toward the wardrobe, and noticing the decoy planner book. That evening, Amy sent both her parents an email with the camera footage, voicemail recordings, and a screenshot of Karen's message. She added a message stating that this was proof Karen would try to ruin the wedding, that Karen definitely didn't deserve to be maid of honor or a bridesmaid, and that Karen should be uninvited. In the message, it was explained that the planner Karen found was a decoy. Amy stayed at my place knowing she would be told off for recording Karen and not trusting her if she was at her parents' house, rather than them confronting Karen for trying to cancel the wedding behind Amy's back. Amy turned her phone off after sending the email. In the morning, when she turned her phone on, she had a lot of missed calls, voicemails, and texts from Karen and her parents. Her parents' messages were about how they couldn't believe Karen would try to cancel the wedding. They thought she might try to change the wedding to her liking, but never expected this.
They thought, and they still allowed her to be the maid of honor.
They were mad that Amy had a camera in her room and didn't trust Karen. They agreed that Karen shouldn't be maid of honor, but insisted she should still be a bridesmaid. She tried to cancel the wedding.
But she's family.
They're like, oh, it's ridiculous that you would put up a camera to like catch her in the act of doing something
and
wrong.
we thought she would change something or do something wrong, but not this.
This
Not
was
our
too
sweet
far.
Karen.
They also agreed that Karen shouldn't be part of the planning, but should still be involved in shopping for the bride's dress, bridesmaids, dresses, accessories, etc. Karen's messages were filled with anger, mad that she was tricked by the decoy planner, mad that Amy didn't trust her enough with the real planner, mad that she was recorded, and mad that Amy told their parents what she had done. It is so bonkers to me that anyone's like, I can't believe you wouldn't trust her.
Look at her.
She betrayed you.
Look at her actions.
There were also pictures of Amy's room after it had been trashed with a caption, "This is what snitches get." After these messages, Amy was even angrier at her parents for trying to be neutral and compromising on her wedding to keep, in her words, the so-called peace and loving sisterly bond. I don't think they have a loving sisterly bond. I think they hate each other. Amy's anger towards Karen increased. I advised Amy to set up boundaries with her parents and establish reasonable consequences. She should keep them on a low info diet about the wedding, as they would pass it on to Karen, even if told not to, not share real vendor passwords with them, and move out of her parents' house sooner rather than later. Amy took up my offer to live with me until she and her groom finally got a place together. I also suggested distancing herself from Karen, but not completely blocking her in case Karen came up with other ideas to ruin the wedding, and sent another message before acting on it. That way, we could stop it or undo it with plenty of time. Also, Amy should not answer Karen's calls, as she might leave a voicemail revealing her plans. I helped Amy create her boundaries and consequences list. Here's what was on the list. Boundaries. Parents are not to agree with any of Karen's demands involving Amy's wedding. Parents are not to make compromising promises to Karen that involve Amy's wedding. Karen is to be a guest, not part of the bridal party. The fact that she's even a guest is crazy. Karen is not to be involved in planning or shopping for the wedding. Parents are not to give Karen any information about the wedding, including planning appointments and vendor details. Consequences: if Karen tries to cancel or ruin the real wedding, she is automatically uninvited from the wedding.
Okay, wait a minute. We should go for more here.
What?
Come on. Uninvited from the wedding? No.
No.
How much money would the parents give to Karen for her wedding? We should take some of that.
That's true. Yeah. You say you owe me money. If Karen even causes one little thing, you have to send me $200,000.
You messed up the venue. Venue cost $90,000.
Yeah. Just charge 'em.
The cake is messed up. Oh, that's $5,000, girl.
Mm-hmm. Just keep charging her. If the parents cross a boundary, there will be a 3-strike consequence system. Strike 1, Dad will no longer walk Amy down the aisle. Strike 2, Parents don't get to play their roles in the reception, sit at the head table, make speeches, and participate in the father-daughter dance. Strike 3. Parents are uninvited from the wedding. I advised Amy to wait for the groom to return from his trip before giving her family the lists. He should have a say in anything involving the wedding, and there might be some boundaries or additional consequences he wants to include. A day after the groom returned, Amy told him everything that had happened with her family. He was mad that Karen tried to cancel the fake wedding and glad we found out sooner that Karen would do anything to get her way. He was also upset that Amy's parents made compromising promises about their wedding when they weren't paying for anything. Yeah, that's the thing. That's a real kicker, because I feel like in a lot of these wedding stories, it's always the parents are like, well, you have to agree to our demands because we're paying for it. But Amy and her partner are paying for everything, so.
Dude, then just uninvite the sister.
Yeah.
Then the parents have zero thing to say you should be the maid of honor.
They got nothing to hold over you.
I understand some of these weddings where the parents are like, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. You're footing the bill. Okay, great.
Yeah, you're fine.
But this makes no freaking sense.
The groom reviewed the list and added to both. He mentioned that when Amy's parents asked for their friends to be invited, he was already annoyed that they hadn't offered any money toward the wedding to support the requests. Due to their behavior, both in response to Karen's demands and since his return, he decided that as a consequence, Amy's parents' friends would no longer be invited to show that they were serious. When Amy and the groom were ready with their lists, they contacted Amy's family to set up a meeting. They agreed to meet at a cafe. When I was told about how the meeting went. Amy's parents tried to downplay the situation and twist some details when explaining to the groom what had happened, thinking he had no idea what was really going on. Apparently, her parents said things like, "It's a silly misunderstanding. Amy's overreacting over nothing. Karen didn't start this, and Karen didn't do anything that Amy claims she did." The groom shut them down immediately, telling them he had listened to all the voice recordings, seen all their messages, and viewed Karen's picture message of Amy's trash room. Amy's parents went pale and fell silent. Karen turned red, fighting the urge to scream. She values her public image and only has banshee-like tantrums in private in front of her family. Amy expressed her feelings about her parents' actions regarding Karen's behavior. Then she introduced the lists. First the boundaries, and then the consequences. Nice. Her parents and Karen tried to challenge each boundary, but Amy reminded them of what they had done to warrant its inclusion. They were then informed that Amy's parents' friends were no longer invited as a consequence of their recent behavior. After the meeting, Amy received multiple messages from Karen. She was furious that Amy had told the groom what had been going on. Couldn't believe Amy didn't trust her. Was upset that the boundaries and consequences lists had been created. Thought both lists were unreasonable and was especially angry about being demoted from maid of honor to bridesmaid. I replied on Amy's behalf using her phone with, "Your actions are the reason I lost trust in you. You were never maid of honor to begin with. You are a guest, not a bridesmaid."
Dang.
Put her in her place.
Put her in her place.
During the 3 years of engagement and wedding planning, these are some of the things Karen has done. Tried to crash the first venue tour with both parents' help. Tried to crash wedding dress shopping with mom's help. Posted on social media a bad picture of Amy in a wedding dress. However, the dress in the picture was just one of hundreds Amy tried on in shop 1 of 20 before finally finding the perfect dress. Karen took the picture at the shop while being blocked from entering the fitting room and getting punted out of the store along with mom. Wait, so she came in like a paparazzi and she's like, "Ah!" And then everyone was like, "Get out!"
Sounds like it. I want more context on that one.
Tried to cancel both venues for the wedding. Karen had an invite to the wedding before getting uninvited, which is how she knew where the ceremony and reception were being held. Amy later received a voicemail from Karen screaming, "How dare you have passwords on your bookings? Don't you trust me?" No!
How do you know there are passwords on the bookings?
Dude,
insane.
no one trusts you.
There's a code word.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Shortly after, Amy got calls from vendors informing her that Karen had tried to cancel the bookings. Destroyed a wedding dress that she thought was Amy's. Tried to cancel the cake and catering. Not long after, Amy, the groom, and both sets of parents attended tastings for the cake and catering. Both vendors were informed about Karen and set up passwords for the booking. Amy then received another call from Karen, once again screaming about the passwords and trust. Soon after, she received calls from vendors informing her that Karen had attempted to cancel the bookings. It didn't take long to find out that Dad had told Karen the name of both vendors.
Not the dad. Not the
Dude,
dad doing
dude.
this.
Come on.
Ooh.
Got arrested for breaking into a flat that she thought belonged to Amy and the groom.
This is insane.
And the parents are just like, "That's just Karen.
That's so
She's just
sweet,
loving.
Karen.
That's just Karen.
That's how she
You know
acts.
how she is."
Okay. That's crazy.
This happened the day before the wedding, which took place over the weekend. Since Karen was in police custody during the wedding, there was no worries about her causing trouble on the big day. Only the parents had to be dealt with. There are other things Karen has done and more details about what's mentioned in this post, but including them would make this already long post even longer.
So she didn't get to even go to the wedding because she was in jail?
I guess so.
What?
That's insane.
I've never heard that one.
Now,
I guarantee you the parents were like, he's fine.
she's just doing some, I don't know, community service in jail. She's helping out.
Excuse me, wedding venue. Can we have our deposit back? We have to bail our
daughter
child out of prison.
Now to Karen asking me for help with her wedding. A few days ago, my coworker approached me asking if I could help her brother and future sister-in-law, who were having issues with the sister-in-law's parents. My coworker knows I help brides with wedding planning issues. She told her brother and sister-in-law about me to see if they wanted extra help before reaching out. My coworker only gave me sister-in-law's first name, a very common name, and mentioned that her parents were making unreasonable demands. I agreed to meet with her brother, future sister-in-law, and my coworker. Last night, we met up. The second sister-in-law and I saw each other. I realized who she was, and Karen, now 36, 37, turned pale. So it's been about 10 years. My coworker's brother then starts explaining his fiance's parents' demands. Some of their demands included the mother gets to wear a white wedding dress. Parents plan the entire wedding and invite their friends despite not contributing any money. The mother is to be the maid of honor. The father is to be the best man. And when the groom finished listing all the parents' demands, I turned to Karen and said, "So your parents are giving you the same treatment you gave your little sister during her wedding planning?" Karen ran away screaming.
Oh my gosh.
She ran away screaming?
That is...
She just
Oh,
ran
that's
away
beautiful.
screaming?
That's beautiful.
No, that's great. But what? She just
Like
she
this.
just ran. She's like, "Ah, no!" What?
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah, she is confronted with the ghost of her past
Yeah.
and does not know how to defeat it.
Shocking. Yeah, that is. I want to know if the parents were doing this like they just are insane, or if they were doing it to show Karen her wrongs or something. You
I
know?
would phone call Amy and be like, "Are your parents crazy?" Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably the parents.
Yeah,
Because they let Karen do all this stuff and still insisted
That's true.
it should be bridesmaid.
that's true. After a moment of confusion and shock, her brother went after her. My coworker was confused about the situation. When her brother returned after Karen had driven away, he asked me why I said that about what little sister I was referring to. I explained everything to him and my coworker. He didn't completely believe me until I video called Amy. Amy confirmed everything and sent him proof, including messages from when Karen tried to cancel the fake wedding and other incidents. Her brother thanked us for telling him the truth and said he had a lot to think about. My coworker also thanked me. At that moment, I don't know what's going to happen next. And there is an update.
Oh my god, did OP just help this person
Yeah.
dodge a bullet? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Also, kind of bummer for Karen. She waited so long for this.
Oh yeah.
And like because of like some twist of fate, OP's right there to block her. She was about to have her wedding moment that she's been
Dang.
dreaming about for like
She-
20 years.
I think she's around 40 at this point.
She's like 38. they said.
38, yeah. She probably wants babies soon.
She's about to have this moment.
Oh, this is kind of sad.
It's kind of sad.
But also, it's Karen.
Update! Sorry for the delay in updating. I was recently updated by my coworker, let's call her Jill, for the remainder of this post, on what happened with her brother after learning about Karen's past. Their engagement/relationship is over.
Oh,
Dang.
what?
Dang.
What?
That's what happens, man. That's what happens.
Oh.
According to Jill, her brother talked to his parents about everything Amy and I had told him and showed them proof. His parents supported ending the engagement/relationship. When he finally got to talk with Karen, since he wanted to break up face to face, Karen's parents got in contact with him. They wanted him to pay for the cancellation of their engagement, but the second he said, "I know about Amy and everything that happened," the parents hung up. He hasn't heard anything from them since. So the brother is free from that madness, but I'm feeling guilty. When I met Karen at the meeting from a distance, she looked like a completely different person. But when I got close enough to see her face clearly, I knew it was her. She had lost a lot of weight, her real hair color was showing, and she wasn't wearing makeup. From what I recall, Amy telling me Karen never leaves her bedroom without makeup on. Her behavior had also changed. I was shocked when she ran away screaming at our meeting. It seemed like she had lost her confidence after going through hell. When Jill and I were catching up, we'd both been busy with work on different business trips and projects. Jill mentioned one part of Karen's past that she doesn't believe. When Jill met Karen, Karen claimed she doesn't use social media. So when I mentioned the part about posting on social media a bad picture of Amy in a wedding dress, Jill thought I was lying. Before Amy's wedding planning madness, Karen used to post on all her social media platforms every minute about every little thing in her life, including using the bathroom. So I went online and found Karen's Facebook account. The last post on there was from years ago, about a year after she broke into the wrong flat. It was a video of her ranting about how things were going with the court case. From the video, which I'm guessing might have been made/posted a day before the trial, I found out Karen was arrested a few times before this arrest. She said the judge most likely sent her to prison. The owners of the flat were also getting married, and Karen destroyed all their wedding stuff.
Oh my gosh.
I know she trashed the flat part before seeing this video, but didn't know what items she trashed. Owners had cameras inside their flat. I did find other videos of her ranting about how her plans to stop Amy's wedding failed, about her parents are blaming her for Amy embarrassing them at her wedding by preventing them from entering and cutting contact. Parents telling her she has to pay them back for bail, parents treating her differently, the flat owners suing her for wedding fees, property damage, and emotional distress, her losing friends and followers on social media, also her real life friends too. And you would never lose us if you just listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left.
I don't know if I feel bad for Karen.
I don't know.
She seemed
Yeah.
to have gone through life and become a better person.
Well, we don't know. We just know that she went through a lot.
But you could tell
Yeah.
from the first impression after 10
Sure.
years later, her appearance has changed.
Yeah.
She feels more confident in her skin, thus no makeup.
True.
And she looks healthier.
True.
I think she turned her life around. And now her
I think it's a big
parents are
possibility.
just kind of crazy. And it seems like she's trying to escape this.
It does. I mean, she went through, she went to jail a couple times. I think there's a possibility that she did change,
Yeah.
but we'll never know.
Wait,
Well, we might know.
Keelan,
There's
can
a
you
little bit
please look for an update?
more. Well, there's a little bit more.
There's a little more.
Okay.
But I'll check.
After the video rant about losing friends, I looked for Facebook friends list. She only has 2 friends that are her parents. I looked at their accounts and found their posts of them continuing Karen's punishment after she served her time in prison. In their posts, they're mistreating Karen. The parents have put on their posts about how upset they are for never meeting their grandchildren because of what Karen did during Amy's wedding planning. These parents are ridiculous. They were just at fault. Also, how much money Karen owes them for bail, lawsuit, and other legal fees. I took screenshots of the parents mistreating Karen posts and sent them to social services. Hopefully Karen will get help that she needs. But I feel guilty for airing out her past when she is going through this. I feel bad for Karen now.
Jimmy Lulu did say, but she could have been honest with her partner.
For
Because
sure.
if she was honest with her partner, he would have known about this and it would have been a shock. Seems like she's trying to put
Yeah.
a rug over a big, huge dirt pile.
I think so. And it's less so that I feel bad that she the partner or the fiance is getting out of this situation. It's more so I just feel bad for Karen.
Yeah.
It seems like everything is really getting worse and worse.
Because people
The
people
partner
deserve
doesn't
second
deserve that.
chances.
Yeah. And maybe the partner doesn't deserve to be with her.
I don't
you
know. It seems like she got a lot of chances. Come on, guys.
But I mean, 10 years later, I don't know. I just
sometimes
feel
when
like
you hit-
something changed.
You're an
sometimes when you
adult.
hit rock bottom, you deserve a second chance.
Yeah. I think
You have to hit rock bottom, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. She went to jail multiple times and is out, and now her parents are kind of abusing her a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem great.
There was no update, but there was a comment, a small tidbit comment from OP.
What'd you say?
Let's see. It's right here. Yeah, this is from OP. Yeah, from a comment saying, I just flat out do not understand how dare younger sister get married before I do thing. It seems to be pretty common. I hope Amy is very happy now and Karen gets dumped. And replying as OP, yeah, I guess it's some more weird old-fashioned tradition thing that somehow affects the DNA of the first-born daughter of the families, LOL. Amy and Groom are much happier, definitely after cutting out with Karen and Amy's parents. The couple just had their second child last year. So, nothing, it looks like no update on her, but looks like everyone else is doing all right.